What's going on, y'all? We are back to talk about power. This is season 5, episode 4, Second Chances. Okay, so a little bit is going on, not too much, but a lot of the same still going on. So let's just talk about it. Okay, episode starts with Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy. Tommy pulls up, hops out the car. He's got killing a Jimenez on his mind, just as everybody does. But he rolls up talking about killing a Jimenez and how Jason not gonna keep waiting, so they need to hurry up and bust a move, right? Kanan jumps in and is like, okay, well, isn't your father out? Why don't he help us? Ghost didn't know that. Okay, so Ghost has an issue with that, and he asks Kanan, can he excuse them so they could talk? Kanan goes off to the side. Ghost and Tommy are talking, and Ghost is like, listen, this nigga cannot know about all of this that's going on. He can't know about this because he could use it against us. So you need to be careful. And Tommy's like, that ain't gonna happen. He family, this and that. And Ghost is like, nigga, you known that nigga all of 15 minutes. I've been your family your whole life, okay? And remember, y'all, Tasha said the same thing to Tommy in the last episode. So Tommy is just all over the place, doing too much and not enough at the same time. And he just is scattered. So, you know, and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Tommy at all because he's got his hands in with Jason. He's got his hands in with the Italians. He done messed up with the Italians already. And Jason is on his ass about this money and getting this port for him. So it just doesn't look good for Tommy. And the one person, Ghost, who kind of was able to keep Tommy, like whenever Tommy was near the ledge, Ghost could kind of pull him back because Ghost was always so in control of everything. But we see that that's slipping away quickly for Ghost. Ghost doesn't have control of things like he usually does. So it's just not looking good for Tommy or Ghost. So anyway, Ghost makes it clear that he has an issue. Tommy storms off. He hops in his car, rolls out, and is like, fuck it, I'll just get to Jimenez myself. Meanwhile, Rashad had called Ghost on the phone about the fundraiser. So that was that. But Kanan, of course, Kanan is sitting back, listening and watching and taking everything in because we know Kanan got his own plan. So Donovan and Angie over at the headquarters, they just joking back and forth, having like this playful banter about the them shutting down Blanca's case, okay? And Donovan says to Angie, well, she seemed to think you hiding something, but of course Angie brushes it off and laughs it off and makes a joke of it. So Donovan, you know, doesn't even think twice. And meanwhile Angie is putting away all the records that they seized. And then she texts Tasha and confirms that the case has been shut down. Tasha says thanks. So in their mind, they don't have nothing else to worry about, but we know better than that. Meanwhile, Rico Suave is texting and telling Angie he can't stop thinking about the other night. I knew something was going on with him, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, at the meeting, they set their sights on Arturo because they're still trying to get at Alicia and Diego, but they don't quite know how to do it. So they find Arturo and they're like, that's how we're going to get Alicia and Diego. So they get all ready for that. And so that's what they're going to set out to do. Kanan and Ghost are talking, okay? And because now Tommy done left. Remember, Tommy rolled out saying he was going to get to Jimenez himself. So they're talking and Kanan was like, you know, we really should kill Terezi. Ghost is like, nah, we can't do that. That's too risky. But I got a plan. I'm going to come up with a way to get the Italians to not mess with Tommy because we going to make Tommy too hot. Nobody's going to get hurt, especially not Tommy, but we're going to make it so the Italians are out of the picture and nobody gets hurt. So Terezi and Tommy are at the cemetery, and Terezi is just telling him stories about the family and his dad and his mother and how he got into the life because he wanted to provide a good life for his family, and how he picked out 2 plots at the cemetery for him and Connie, and he gonna make sure that Connie gets the best of whatever for the rest of her life. Tommy's all in and says, yeah, I'm gonna make sure of that too. Now, Alicia and Dre, she pops up. Excuse me, y'all. Drinking water. But she pops up on Dre at the club because Dre is going over the finances for that event. And he tells Alicia, like, you know, Diego, he ran up a $60,000 tab. He's in here acting like an asshole. People are getting tired of him. You know, we got to do something about him. And Alicia's like, okay, all right, well, sit tight. I'm going to get back to you on that. I'm going to come up with a solution, and I'm going to get back to you on that. Tasha is supposed to be going with Ghost to this investor party at Truth. She's in the house. She in the bed. She sleep. Ghost tries to wake her up and says, you and Yaz are supposed to be ready because we supposed to be going to this party. And she is just like, no, I can't go. I don't feel like it. I don't want to play this role anymore. I just don't have it in me. Ghost gets mad, okay? Ghost gets pissed off and calls Tasha selfish. And for some reason, I was just like, this motherfucker, he really had the nerve to call Tasha selfish when all of this happened. Pretty much this whole snowball started rolling because of him being selfish and doing what he wanted to do from the start. So anyway, but you know, he's losing control. So again, you know, he's not able to move people around like he once was. And so he calls Tasha selfish and storms out and is like, sorry to have disturbed you. Go back to sleep. Tasha's just like, whatever. She's tired of him. Okay, so whatever. He leaves, and that was that. So they have this welcome home, like this whole Goodfellas setup for Terezi over at the club at Vincent's. And he gives his speech about, you know, being locked up for that long and how he did his time like a man. And he was grateful for the family and how the family held him down, and grateful that they welcomed Tommy into the fold without a problem. Okay. But the one guy was on the sidelines talking to Vincent, saying how he was suspicious. Like, that's just crazy how he could just be locked up for so long and then just get out all of a sudden like that. But Vincent shuts it down, of course, because he doesn't want to hear anything of it. But not everybody is suspicious of Terezi just getting out of jail like that, getting out of prison so quickly, and it's only gonna last but for so long, I think. So anyway, at the fundraiser, Ghost, this is where I was really like, okay, yeah, he has completely lost it. Ghost gets there and he's agitated, number one. We saw that in the exchange with him and the dude at the bar. Then he and Rashad start talking about the speech that he was going to give. And Ghost is insisting, no, I got it. I'm going to do it. So he goes up there to do his speech. And meanwhile, Rashad and the 2 investors, the couple, I guess they were a couple, the guy says, yeah, you know, I've been hearing some talk about him, how, you know, the board of directors ain't really too hot on James, you know. And Rashad assures them, like, nah, that's just rumors. I trust him with my life. So Ghost gets up there to give the speech, and he's hallucinating again. He sees Raina in the audience. So that stops him. Right as he's talking, it stops him. And he can't go on. So he runs off the stage and he goes down, grabs the little girl, turns her around, and sees, of course, that it's not Raina. But again, he was hallucinating. So it's an awkward moment. Everybody's standing around staring at him. Nothing he can do. He bombed it. So back at the house, he's still drinking, and the account manager calls him and says they came up 40% short from the fundraiser. And he says, well, I got some private money coming in, so we'll be good. Tasha comes in and asks how it went. And he says he fucked it up. Okay, because he was hallucinating. He saw Raina. Tasha says, I see Raina all the time. And she was really trying to comfort him in that moment. But again, he goes into defense mode and blames Tasha and was like, that was supposed to be your speech. You were supposed to be the one up. Had you been there, it would have never happened. So another sign that Ghost is just out of control and he can't handle it. Because remember, Ghost used to be the one moving all the pieces, right, on the chessboard. Ghost used to be the one that was moving all the pieces around, dictating everything, in control of everything at all times. And that's not him anymore. So he blames her, and you could see it on Tasha's face, like, this month, I can't, the look on her face was just like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with this. Rashad and Dre are meeting. Rashad decides to bring Dre in to have him be the face of the Queen's Child Project. Now, this nigga Dre is like, I don't know, James ain't about to just let me, come in and just take over like that. Like, and then what's in it for me? And Rashad is like, don't you know there's a value in having friends in high places? But Dre is like, nah, I'm good. So he walks out. Okay. And back at the St. Patrick crib, Tasha and the mother. We don't see a lot of the mother, but she was talking to Tasha, and Tasha is just telling her how she just can't take it anymore. Ghost is not the man that she knows anymore, and that she is just fed up. She's ready to leave him, basically. And the mother's like, you sure that's it? It's not somebody else? And she's like, well, who was that you was hugged up with at Raina's funeral? And Tasha's like, no, this has nothing to do with anybody. I'm just ready to go. So now Proctor and his daughter are chilling. He made her some pancakes. They chilling. And the baby mother show up. Okay, she bops in just like nothing ever happened, and is saying how everything pretty much is going to go back to normal. She's clean, and she's told the little girl she's sorry that she was sick, and she's going to get 50-50 custody. And I don't know what that was that she handed her. If y'all know, leave it in the comments. But she handed her something, and Proctor told the little girl to go upstairs to her room. The little girl the whole time was looking, the look on her face was like, really, bitch? Like, for real. Like, she was looking like, Daddy, please don't let this happen. So the girl goes to her room, and Proctor is talking to his baby mother, and he like, you'll never get 50-50 custody of her, and that's cool that you've been sober for 30 days, but bitch, beat it. Get out of here. Beat it. And of course, she throws in his face the ethics situation about him potentially being disbarred because of the ethics situation. But, still Proctor's like, fuck her, get out. So she leaves, and he opens up the briefcase and is looking through Terezi's paperwork. And he texts Ghost and says, we need to meet up because it's something we got to talk about. Okay, so Tommy and Terezi. Tommy is leaving, getting in the car, And he was talking to Jason on the phone, and Terezi overhears, okay? And he could see that Tommy is struggling with somebody. And he doesn't know it's Jason, of course, but he's offering to help. He's like, and Tommy said, you know, I gotta go throw a party for somebody else. And Terezi's like, why don't you let me help you? Let me help you. You know, do it right this time. And Tommy's like, oh nah, I got it. So Tommy is suspicious of Terezi, but you could tell he kind of fighting with himself about it. He going back and forth with himself. He don't, you know, Tommy really leads with his heart a lot of times, and Ghost said it, like, once somebody gets into Tommy's head, it's hard to sway him. So so we'll see how that turns out. Angie and Medina back over at the headquarters, they got Arturo in there, and they telling Arturo how they can charge him as a kingpin, and he's, you know, because they think he's distro and all of this and that. Arturo is like, oh, and they throw Lorenzo in there, okay? But Arturo is like, yo, I'm not the distro, and I didn't kill Lorenzo, but Angie's like, you know what? We don't even give a fuck about Lorenzo. We just need Alicia and Diego. So Arturo, he's sitting there. He asked for a lawyer. First of all, he's sitting there. He getting nervous. He started tapping. I knew that was it. I knew something was going on with Arturo. Just the way he been looking over the past couple episodes, like the look in his eyes when certain conversations were being had, and now he's sitting in there with Angie and Medina, looking all nervous and everything. I knew he was going to give him up. So he does. He says, Alicia, she's flying back to Mexico. Diego probably gonna be there too. So Angie was like, where they gonna be at? He told him. Okay. So Proctor meets up with Ghost. Okay. And this is where they talk about the suspicion that Proctor still has about Terezi. But he says, though, Terezi's clean, but Mock's name appeared in his paperwork, and Mock was part of his original arrest. So it very well could be procedural and not much to speak of, but at the same time, he doesn't trust Mock. So it could be, you know, it could go either way. But he told Ghost, he was like, I need you to not be involved in anything illegal, especially with Tommy, okay? Because it's too hot. Like, y'all doing, it's too much going on. And then we saw, like, when they first got together, they were lying to each other about Terezi, knowing whether or not Terezi was out. But Proctor, remember, because Tommy killed Markham in Proctor's apartment, and they had to cover that up. So when Ghost was like, why you didn't tell me about this shit with Tommy, he was like, nigga, do you not remember that he stabbed this Bama right in my apartment? Like, forgive me if I'm trying to be extra cautious. So that was their exchange between Proctor and Ghost. So Tasha and Titty Head Terry, Terry Silver, he ain't really done too much to make me say I don't like him, but it's something about him. His head looked like a titty ball. But anyway, Terry tells Tasha about how Mock has his sights set on bringing down Proctor as well as James and Tommy in the process, okay? And he's like, you need to be as far away from them as possible because Mock is closing in and he's not going to give up until he gets what he's out to get. So it's a good thing that you're deciding to separate yourself from Ghost right now. And, you know, you could really stay here, you know, but Tasha's like, well, you're not exactly objective, Terry. Like, you know, and you might change your mind. But basically, Terry is just telling Tasha everything that she needs to hear in that moment. And they hugging and everything. So Titty Head Terry, whatever. um, Jimenez, the Jimenez and the crew, this is where Alicia is getting ready to fly out, okay? And Alicia's getting ready to fly out. So it's Alicia, Diego, the crew, Andre, and Cristobal. So they give Andre $60K in cash in a bag for the tab that Diego ran up at the club. And Diego says to Dre that he's sorry. But Alicia says, okay, here go the money. He won't be a problem anymore. But what I want you to do, what I want to have happen is, I want you, Dre, to show Cristobal how to work the books for when we expand. Dre didn't like that. Dre was like, nah, I don't think that's necessary. But Alicia's like, nah, well, why wouldn't he? You know, we expanding. He need to be here to hold it down. So you want to show him how to do it. So Dre, as they're walking away, is like, damn, nigga, what, you running clubs now? And Cristobal's like, I don't have no other choice. So they get in the truck, they roll out. Meanwhile, the feds are rolling up. Okay, so Angie finally gets her hands on Diego and Alicia. And she just is all proud of herself and calls Alicia an asshole or some bullshit. Like, I got you now, asshole, or something. But this is why I can't deal with Angie, because she really thought she was doing something, okay? So over at and Tommy was watching. Meanwhile, all of that shit was going on. Tommy was over there behind the gate watching. Okay. Angela, she shows up at the headquarters. They welcome her with a round of applause. She just, happy and everything. And Rico Suave shows up. Rico shows up to talk to Alicia. And then Tamika had said to Angie, I'm going to give you first crack at Alicia. So she getting ready to go in there, all proud of herself and everything. And Rico Suave shows up and it's like, nah, I'm here to talk to Alicia and them first. So Angie, go ahead on about your business somewhere. So of course Angie's upset. And she feeling real stupid because she done busted open for this dude. And he basically just snatched everything out from under her. Everything that she was trying to do and trying to accomplish, he snatched it out from under her. So he goes in and he talks to Alicia, right? Now this is where we find out that Alicia planted Diego's gun because she's trying to get Diego caught up because Diego is a liability for her. So Steve, aka Rico Suave, was like, okay, I have orders to let y'all go. She encourages him to keep Diego though, but he's like, I'm not gonna keep neither one of y'all. I have orders from my superiors to let both of y'all go. But this is where Alicia, in talking to Steve, pretty much says that she wants Diego gone, wants Diego out of the picture because he's a liability. Okay, so he walks out. Okay, he leaves. And Angie confronts him again and is like, was any of this real? This is my case. I can win this case and I have the evidence. And Rico Suave is like, if I have the authority to let them go, why would I be trying to use you to do it? I have the authority either way, whether you're here or not. But everything just crumbled at that moment. Like, it wasn't nothing she could do. So that's what you get, Angie, for I told you, for sitting up in there, telling him everything that you was planning to do, and now look at you. When you could have just kept your mouth and your legs shut and just went on about your business. Like, and even if you was gonna give him some, why not just do that and not tell him everything that you're doing? Okay, so anyway, that's gone. Alicia and Diego, they riding in the car because they just got released. And they talking about the gun. Alicia's like, when's the last time you seen your gun? He's like, I don't know. The gold one, I don't know. She like, well, that's why they arrested us, you dummy, because it was at one of the stash houses. And I need you to stop this shit with Dre. And he like, well, why is he so important to you? She's like, because he's the reason for our expansion, you know? And Alicia was like, you destroy everything you touch. Okay, so it's dissonance between them. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds as well. Steve is still texting Angela. Okay, Angela's back at the office because she just all in her feelings now because her case done got snatched from her and she just don't know what to do. So she's sitting in her office and she gets a text from Steve still talking about, I can't stop thinking about the other night. She was getting ready to text him back, you motherfucker, but she didn't. She took it back. And then she looks through the files and she sees that Mock and Nutsacks had a track on Tommy's car. Remember, I think that was at the end of last season when they put a tracker on Tommy's car or something like that. I think it was last season. So she finds that out. So now Dre and Cristobal, they together, they talking about next steps since Alicia and Diego got busted. And Dre was like, you know, I told everybody just to lay low for a minute till shit cools off. Cristobal is like, what you mean lay low? Like, we don't have nothing. Like, what you talking about? Dre's like, well, if they wanted us, they would have came for us already. They got the big fish. They don't need us. So we straight, you know? And Cristobal is like, but now the problem is now there's a rat. You know, who is the rat? And he was like, if Kanan and Ghost and Tommy find this out, it's really gonna be some shit. And Dre was like, nah, it's not. And I think that at that moment, because he said, I need you to take me somewhere. And at that moment, that's when he put it together. He was like, if I become the face of this Queen's Child project, they not gonna be so quick to kill nobody. They not gonna be so quick to kill me. So he says, I need you to take me somewhere, okay? We'll get back to that. The feds raid Proctor's apartment, okay? Because this is the doing of Nutsacks and Mock. So they come in, they raid the apartment, they searching everything, and the agent was like, this was the last known place of where Bailey Markham was. And Proctor was like, I don't have shit to do with that. I don't know what you're talking about. So we're gonna see, okay? But I remember they cleaned everything up and they got rid of the body and everything. But who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with that? Blanca is talking to Daryl, okay, the little guy that was working at the office with Angie. That Angie had been using his login credentials to do dirt. She used his login to delete that record of that gun, and now the boy done got suspended. But Blanca is on it, and she's talking to him, and she's like, I have a theory. I think somebody might be using your credentials. And I don't think it's going to take too much for them to put it together that it was Angie, okay? Ghost comes home to Tasha, got the baby packed up. She's packing herself up. They getting ready to leave. And Tasha's issue with him is, you know, you're not dealing with Raina's death at all. Like, because Ghost, again, is trying to put the shit on Tasha, saying, I'm sorry, I'm not grieving for Raina the way you want me to. And Tasha's like, that's not it. You're not grieving for her at all. Like, and it's just too much, okay? And Ghost again tries to guilt trip Tasha. It's like, fine, you want to leave me? Go ahead. And there's nothing you can do for me. You can't help me do anything. And Tasha's like, yeah, I got this. I got myself. I got my kids. And you got the one thing you always had, which is you. So fuck you, basically. And she left. So it's all falling apart. Things are all falling down for Ghost. And he tried to say that all of that shit he did was in the past. It was in the past, but again, like, do we not remember that he did this? You know what I'm saying? He did this, and it's just crazy to me how conveniently niggas want shit when it benefits them, wants the shit to be in the past and want you to move beyond it, not realizing what what they did in the past has affected your present. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Okay. Kanan and his crew, Kanan has set up this plan for his two little pawns to pull a drive-by with blanks outside of Vincent's club, because he trying to scare them. Okay, because he's trying to find his way into the fold to get a hold of the drugs. So he gonna have his little folks pull a drive-by with some blanks, okay? And meanwhile, Tommy is texting him. He texts Tommy saying, let's come up with a plan to kill the Jimenez. Tommy says, okay, meet me outside of Vincent's at 11:30 tonight. So that's when they gonna pull the blank, the drive-by with the blanks, okay? Now, Mock and Sachs and Proctor meet up about the raid, because Proctor confronted them and is like, if y'all don't leave me the fuck alone, I'm gonna file harassment charges. And but Sachs and Mock, they're on Proctor because they are trying to bring Proctor down, trying to bring Angela down, Ghost, and Tommy. So of course Proctor's like, I don't know anything about anything that has to do with Bailey Markham, so I'm gonna need y'all to leave me the fuck alone. Ghost. Now this is where I believe Dre told Cristobal to take him, because in this scene, Ghost is sitting outside waiting to meet with the board of directors, okay? Rashad calls him in the room. He walks in and unsuspecting, but he sees Dre in there, okay? So Dre gives this bullshit speech about becoming the face of the Queen's Child Project and how he's grateful to James because James didn't turn on him after their professional relationship split and all of this. And he goes over, he shakes Dre's hand, and the way they said it's good to see you again, you could tell that it's animosity there. And then the look on James' face when he looked at Rashad, okay? Ghost ain't gonna be able to hold it together much longer, okay? Because people just doing shit every which way around him, and he's trying to keep it under control, but I'm telling you, them straws just keep being piled up onto the camel's back, and I don't know which one it's gonna be, but soon the camel's back is about to break. So now they getting ready to do this damn drive-by, okay? And these two idiots, the one idiot in the back, he like, I'm not doing no drive-by with blanks. I'm going to use real bullets. We going to use real bullets, but I ain't going to hit nobody. So then why you don't just use the blanks? That was stupid to me, you know, but I don't know. They clearly idiots. But they do the drive-by. Everybody starts shooting. Kanan, as they do the drive-by, Kanan pulls up, you know, and makes himself pretty much look like the hero, okay? Because he shoots and kills his two pawns, okay? And then to Vincent and Tommy, he looks like the hero. Tommy goes off and says, I'm getting ready to go check on Terezi. and make sure everybody's all right. Meanwhile, he and Kanan and Vincent, they go inside. They sit down. They having a drink, and Kanan tells Vincent that the shootout was over an old drug beef Tommy had because they was trying to even the score. And Vincent was like, well, damn, Sammy told me that was over and done with. So Vincent's antennas are up. Everybody's suspicious about everything, okay? Mock and Sax called Terezi on the phone, okay? Connie's also suspicious of Terezi getting out of jail that quickly, okay? And she's like, something just don't seem right. I know when something is up with you, Tony. And Tony tells Connie the truth. Says, they let me out because they want me to get shit on Tommy. And because he's affiliated with Ghost and they think I can get something on him. And I just wanted to be out so I could spend time with you. And Connie's like, once they find out you snitching, it ain't none of this shit going to matter. And he's like, they not gonna find out. And I'm not a rat because I'm not giving up information on the family. I'm giving up information on Tommy so I could be with you, basically. Tommy shows up, okay, at Terezi's house. And he's talking about what happened at the shootout. He said nobody got hurt too badly, but it was a shootout nonetheless. And Tommy gets a phone call that he declines, okay? Blanca, okay, now, she has this whole storyboard up. You know how Angela and them, they had their whole storyboard connecting the dots? Blanca has her own with all the folks, with Angie, Tasha, Ghost, Ray, the family picture, everything. She has everything drawn out and illustrated, connecting the dots. So Angie thought she was shutting her down. Of course, we knew that wasn't going to fly, okay? So Ghost was the person that was trying to call Tommy, okay? Because we see Ghost walks back into the house. It's an empty house now because Tasha and the baby have left. Tariq is at Choke. So he leaves a message for Tommy and is like, we got this new problem, with Dre, okay? And they need to talk about it. And then he finally, Angie finally gives Ghost the time of day because she calls him and they finally meet up at it looks like a restaurant. They meet up and she, says she comments on how his beard looks different. He said, I was tired of having the same face. He asked her if she was okay. She said no. And she asked him if he was okay. He said no. Okay. So that was the end of the episode. And I'm just going to say, it just looks like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Okay. Because now we got Ghost and Angie back together for, whatever reason. And it's funny how the tables turn because Ghost left Tasha to be with Angie. And now Tasha's left Ghost and he's back with Angie. Like, they not on the same wavelength that they were before as far as trying to be lovers, but they're back in each other's presence and we just waiting to see how or where this goes, okay? So it was a good episode, Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Leave it in the comments. And if you have stuck around for all 39 minutes and 18 seconds of this video and you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. Rate the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down. I mean, shit, just let me know how you feeling about the video. Leave your input in the comments below. Let's talk about the show. What did you think about it? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What you think is about to happen? Let me know. So Also, you can follow me on IG, beautifully_coy. And I will see y'all next week for the next episode.